You need to stay on the prayer altar. If you will stay on the prayer altar until you apprehend the voice of God, you become invincible. Jesus said, as the wind bloweth. He said, thou listest not from whence it cometh or where it goeth. He said, so are they that are born by the Spirit of God. They are men with noble intentions, but they keep making mistakes upon mistakes. Your life will end up in struggle if the mistakes you make are too many. But the way to minimize error and to reprogram your life for greatness is to ensure that your altar is generating the voice of God. If the voice of God is scarce, then a people will be sent into captivity. In Revelation chapter 1 verse 9 and 10, they had programmed everything to destroy John. They manipulated men against him. Systems turned against him. There was nowhere to hide anymore. He literally became a victim until they arrested him. They tried to kill him according to church history. They dragged him on the street. He wouldn't die. They put him in boiling oil. He wouldn't die. When they saw that he wouldn't die, they now cast him to an isle called Patmos. But the guy knows that he's not succeeding because of where he is. He's succeeding because he's invincible. And what makes him invincible is because the voice of God is with him. And suddenly, in Revelation chapter 1 verse 9 and 10, it said, I was in the Spirit on the Lord's day. And I heard a voice as of a trumpet. And when I turned, he said, I saw 7 golden lampstands. The Isle of Patmos, which is supposed to be the Isle of Death, became the mountain of God. What reprogrammed his experience is because he was in the Spirit. There are many people today, men may gang up against you. They will push you to a place where they think you want to die. Did you read about Jeremiah? They threw Jeremiah into a pit, a sock away. That would have been a place of suffocation. But while Jeremiah was there, he had understood the technology. From that pit, he was prophesying the destiny of Israel. That means such men become so invincible that you can't destroy them. Anywhere they are, they have a superior knowledge to recode every negative coding that the devil has done. There are people today, they just wake up. They go out, and the moment they are stepping on the road, they are knocked down. You think it's coincidence? Their steps were manipulated. Because when demons want to destroy you sometimes, they program you into self-destruction. And the guy wants to travel. He delays himself on Monday, delays himself on Tuesday, and stood up on Wednesday to travel. And that Wednesday, he woke up, he kept dragging his feet until he left for the park around 11. The car he entered is already destined for accident. He didn't know why a journey that should have been on Sunday was delayed to Wednesday. And the journey was delayed to Wednesday. Of all the cars, is the one that should somersault that he entered. It's because of demonic programming. But when men begin to pray, there is a voice that travels with them. Even if the program is complete, while they are yet there, they say, no, not this one. A lady went to the airport, paid for her flight. The flight was about to take off. In fact, they hurried her because they were about shutting the door. After she pleaded, begged, they did all the necessary connection to get her on the flight. The moment she checked in her luggage, she lost her peace. Give me my bag. They said, no, they've checked it in. I need my bag. I'm not going. They said they checked it in. He said, no problem. And she walked out. The plane crashed. The question is, what about the 80 to 90 Christians that are on that flight? Is it that God specially loved this one? No. There is a heritage that is for every believer. It is the one that ascended in the spirit that picked it. If all of them picked it, all of them would have left the flight. It is one that picked it. As much as God would have loved to save everybody, the spiritual technology made for their salvation is the voice of God. And only the man who will pitch the tent of prayer will access it. But unfortunately, many died because they didn't hear God's voice. Have you not heard people that struggled and fought for what they called an opportunity, not knowing that that is the grave with the mouth open? How come they didn't hear? They said there will be a voice behind you. That voice will tell you, no, turn back. I've seen men before that invested in business so much that you will say, this is the one that will create breakthrough. When they are about to move, they lose their peace. And they say, Lord, what are you saying? What are you saying? And God said, not this one. Not this one. They quickly withdrew. And true to the voice of God, it crashed. The reason Christians are victims and they are not dominating their world is because 90% of their decision-making process is coming from their brain.